I took a night class as an adult student. It was an employer at the time that suggested I take a course in accounting. And I hadn't taken accounting at school, didn't really know much about it, but had moved into office work. So I took this accounting course at Aotearoa, actually, in Auckland, and the teacher was just a lovely, lovely lady, and she was a chartered accountant, and she was just doing that part-time, taking that evening course. So it wasn't until a few years later that I decided to study, and I went to University of Otago and studied full-time, and that was at 30 years old, so that was as an adult. And I studied accounting because of that course that I'd taken at Aotearoa. And it wasn't until I had finished that degree, I moved to Tauranga because that's where family were, and finished my chartered accountancy. But the chartered accountant's office just wasn't a comfortable place for me. I didn't feel at home, I didn't really enjoy that type of work. So I approached the head of school here, David Lyon, at the Bay of Plenty Polytech to see if I could teach a night class and do exactly the thing that I was introduced to as an adult myself, as a potential student.
Amy is an excellent teacher for us at Te Mai. She really cares about every single one of her students. She's one of our first semester teachers, and so she knows all 100 of her students within the first few weeks, so she really cares about each single one of them. Her pastoral care is fantastic. She is always innovative in her teaching, always looking for ways that she can improve her teaching, and incredibly reflective.
Amy has got a style of teaching that is quite unique. First of all, she cares a lot about students. It's not just caring about the results or the contents of her paper. She builds in, just right from the start, a relationship with students, building one of the values of our organization, which is whanangatanga. And she makes an effort to let students know about a little bit about her, a whakapapa, a story as a teacher. And this creates an engagement with students right from the start that gives them the confidence to trust in this tutor and work with her in a different level of trust.
You know, there's a lot more than just some PowerPoint presentations on some of these subjects. So I've learnt to be a real internet researcher. I'm in that paper, I'm on the internet every day, looking for information and looking for interesting things. I think, oh, that's to do with accounting, that's to do with business, and I just like to bring that sort of interesting material into the classroom.
She's just incredibly caring and empathetic towards her students. So I had her for accounting, and I have had no previous experience of accounting, and she made me feel very comfortable, and comfortable in the fact that I could go up to her and be like, I actually have no clue, even though I've just spent 2 hours in your lecture and you're doing great, but I don't know what's happening. And just that safety that she created for me to be like very open and honest with her.
Amy's quite laid back, and she causes everybody else in the class to just relax a little bit. You know, especially with a course that deals with so many numbers, a lot of students can struggle with that, and I think she approaches it in a way where she sets the tone for the class. She sets the bar, and she makes it so that it's not as difficult as people might make it out to seem.
I've built up a wealth of knowledge from studying and from becoming a chartered accountant, and teaching is a way for me to use that knowledge, to share that knowledge with students, and a lot of students at the Polytech here are second chance learners or adult learners, just like I was. And I had a fear of education, didn't know much about it, fear of study, and for me it's helping those people on that journey, the same journey that I took. What inspires me is that I get that different group of students every semester. They're always different, there's always a different cohort, and I think they drive me to be a better teacher.